Today we're going to talk about the new car crash system available only from Genesis Rescue Systems. This system is designed for any type of training academy, larger fire departments, and even smaller fire departments that want to have the ability to run advanced classes for vehicle extrication and rescue. It gives us the ability to smash the entire front of the car in, smash the side of the car in, smash the roof in. It's a very multi-purpose tool that you can use to increase your extrication training and knowledge. With me today is Kurt Schoenfeld, Howell Rescue Specialist, and Anthony Fleming, Howell Rescue Specialist. They're part of the Genesis family of extrication instructors. We're going to just talk briefly about what we have, and we're going to turn these guys loose to go after one of the vehicles. Kurt, do you see anything on the market that's like this tool that anybody else is able to show?
So I've been with the Genesis organization for over 30 years now, and I can guarantee you that there's no manufacturer out there that is anywhere near the forefront that Genesis is. And now being able to provide a car crusher for departments to buy, whether it's a large metro department, maybe a small county goes in together to purchase one of these, this is going to be an invaluable asset for departments to train on actual crashed vehicles like they will see on the street, not just a non-damaged vehicle that we get in the junkyard.
Anthony, any thoughts?
Yeah, so kind of like Kurt, I've been around for a while, but a little less time, 18 years with Genesis and Howell Rescue, but I've been in the fire service for 30 plus years, working my way throughout the ranks, and I have never seen anything like this to be able to give you a realistic atmosphere of a crashed vehicle. We go to do demonstrations, or even my own firehouse, we might get a backhoe or a front end loader and some sledgehammers to bang up a car. But with the Genesis crash system, it's giving the trainer and the trainees reality-based scenario.
So with that, we're going to let these guys go through their paces on one of the freshly crashed vehicles in the Genesis crash system.
As you can see, the vehicle behind us is crushed from the car crusher that we recently showed you. We just want to take a quick walk around and show you what we were able to do with this vehicle before we can go ahead and do the extrication process in a realistic manner. Kurt.
So one of the really cool things that you're going to notice is, compared to rolling up in a junkyard and beating this car up with a backhoe, we've used the car crash system. And look at the movement that we've got on that front end. Look at the high-speed simulated front impact. You'll notice when we get in here, you'll notice that how far that dash is pushed up onto that simulated patient. Anthony and I were walking around a little bit ago, and naturally we always want to check for a battery, so we were talking about the battery, and then later on when we get over, you'll see just how much just this front end beam that covers the battery has been moved up. So this is going to be some really, really good simulated training for crews out there in the field. Anthony?
I agree, Kurt. Especially the patient compartment, the impact that we're able to simulate is just great for the trainer and the trainee.
You know, if you take a look at just on the driver's side, the deformity of this driver's side, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to work on doing a two-door rip and blitz. A lot of you guys are very, very familiar with that two-door rip and blitz evolution. We're going to do that on this car.
Okay.
Ready to go to work?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay, so you can take a look at what we just did was a two-door rip and blitz. We're all familiar with that in the industry. And I can tell you, I've done this probably a couple of thousand times. And this was just a little bit different than what we roll up in a typical junkyard. And we're able to achieve this level of difficulty with the new crash system. So if you'll notice, one of the things that I had a little bit of trouble getting into was making that relief cut after Anthony opened that back door and then spread that at the bottom. This is the advantage that fire departments are going to have when they're using this crash system. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a complete cut on the C-post we're going to push the rear of the roof up with the tele ram, and Anthony's gonna also at the same time be stripping the fender, cutting the rail, cutting the A-post, and then we're gonna throw a 2136 in there with double angled B-heads to push that dash up, okay? Let's get it. Okay, so we've thrown that tele ram in there, we've done some roof displacement, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to take just a second to kind of show you the difference in the crash system versus just a junk car in the junkyard. Most importantly, take a look at this crease right here in this rail. That's a really strong part of the vehicle, and it creates just a little bit more challenge when we're using the crash system versus just standard junk cars. You can see just how much the crash system has given us the ability to push that front end in towards the patient compartment. Look at this distance. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make some relief cuts. Go ahead, Anthony. Okay, so we've thrown the cutter in, we've cut the A-post down low. The really cool thing is we've got a whole lot of damage from the crash system, and we were able to take that wide opening cutter and make all of that in one cut.
All right, let's go ahead and place our ram in and push the dash.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so you can see the end result of throwing that ram in and pushing that dash a little bit. Remember, on the street, all we're looking for movement is just enough. So we're gonna get a little bit more movement by throwing a spreader in, okay? So if we want to recap this just a little bit, so remember, on the street, we're looking for those two words, just enough. We got a little bit of displacement with the ram. We cleared a little bit of material out through the 32-inch opening spreader in there, push that forward. This is a perfect example of what the crash system will do for you. Again, back to what we were talking about earlier versus pulling a car into the back of station 2.
Much more challenging, without a doubt.
It was.